So one thing that you mentioned, previously before we were on camera and we kind of did some preliminary talk, was you trying to enhance your overall artistry, right? Um, you going out of your way to do more training, more lessons, just putting a lot into yourself outside of the actual just recording and the simple stuff like recording and marketing. You're really trying to enhance your skill. Tell us a bit about that process.
So yeah, it all started. Well, I've been doing singing since I was a kid. I feel like that's a typical story. But I went to Milwaukee High School Arts, so I was classically trained. And the biggest reason why I started getting into vocal lessons again is classical versus pop versus theater, all different sounds, different uses with your voice, your throat, not using your throat. And those are things that I'm learning with my vocal coach. And I want to improve. Like I know a lot of people may not like these artists, but people like Doja Cat, Beyonce, those are influences for me. Those are inspirations. Those are goals, vocally or talent wise, or what they execute with their personalities. So when I was listening to Renaissance, I was like, I think it's time for me to start really focusing on expanding my vocal range. I don't want to just be an alto or lower range. I want to be able to belt the high notes or just at least belt. So that's where that started from.
I have a extensive classical music background as well, so tell me a bit about your experience.
So I did opera. So I went, the school I went to was like a choir. So we had rehearsals, we did the classicals, we did musicals, we did operas. And the best part about it was he was super strict as a teacher. So for me coming back, you got to understand, I took a 10-year hiatus from music. So when I graduated high school, I went straight into college. I wasn't thinking much about it. And then in like 2023, I just had this roommate. She had a friend that was a rapper, and I found some beats on YouTube prior to me even knowing the man and just started writing my EP. And it went from there. So it just naturally started coming back together, writing songs again. So yeah, going from classical and going into pop, you could sing R&B songs, do karaoke all day, but when you're actually doing your own music, you got to get it together. You got to figure out your sound. And that's where the journey started.
What has been the most shocking or surprising part of your journey so far? If someone asks you, "Hey, what's an obstacle or an hurdle you're going to come across, or what's an achievement you were going to come across?" Right? What is something that's been the most surprising for you so far?
Money. Oh my God, it's so expensive to do it on your own.
Mm.
And you're going to run into people being like, you should be spending this much and it's going to cost. No, it's not. I got an iPhone. I found a producer that I have a good deal. The music industry does tell you find a producer. You don't have to work with just one, but at least find one producer that you can work with, that you can do splits with, that's going to give you good deals for a lot of beats at once. And that's how you at least get your feet in the beat door. Other than that, is as far as like songwriting, music making, videos, money is going to be a stressor. As far as like the positive, um finding out that people actually rock with your music and not even knowing them, like you're never going to truly get the support from your friends and family like you would get from a stranger. I know that sounds crazy, and I know that sounds like a little rude, but stop going to your friends and family and expecting them to rock with your music and blast it. They will. Don't get me wrong, I got a couple of friends that have come to my show, got a couple of friends that share my music, but I don't depend on them to make this work because they're not my target audience. They know I can sing. They've known me for most of my life. It's the rest of the world that doesn't know my talent and know what I want to give to the world. So I think those are the two things that you find interesting, that new fans that you've never met. Even with my online gaming, I play a game called Second Life. And yeah, there's people on there that I've met and made talent with and stuff. We do shows on there. So there's so many surprising things in this world.
Yeah, and I mean on top of that, right? Like if our entire fan group was just our friends and family, you wouldn't really be making any money, would we?
Exactly.
We're always trying
Exactly.
always trying to expand, right?
Yeah, and
Um,
you're not there to please your family and friends, even
yeah,
if they
I
don't
guess
like it.
yeah, and that's with any company, right? Even outside of music, or entertainment, we're always trying to expand. Yeah, good point. So I when I look at the album cover for Gentle Scars, it reminds me a bit of it reminds me of Badu a bit. Do you have any Erykah Badu influence or?
Kinda. More so when I saw the graphic artist that was making the album, it I kind of wanted my face to be on there, and at the time I wasn't in a position to do like professional photos. So I was like, I like graphics, I like anime, I like adding cartoon stuff. And I was like, let's see what we can do with this. Now, when he came up with the idea, I did see hints of neo soul, and I do. It's like I dibble and dabble in all types of genres, to be honest, and I want to keep doing it. So I feel like that cover gives the idea of like it's more than just one thing. If you look hard enough, it can look like an African goddess. If you look hard enough, she can look like she's, I don't know, psychedelic, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think you have some phenomenal songwriting on Don't Like Me. What's the line you have about time? If I was Father Time, what was the line you have on there about time?
If I write myself love letters that's to pass time by. If my vision was a little clearer, I know how fast time flies.
Yeah,
Lately,
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
standing in the mirrors. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What is typically your songwriting process, right? Like, what you go into a studio? Is the instrumentation there first, or is the song concept there first, or is a hook there first? What is typically your songwriting process?
When I was doing these songs, I was going off the beat, so I had like an idea. I was going through a rough time, and I just had all these feelings that finally just came out on in words on paper. And it started like that. Currently, though, what I've been doing with some of the beats, I got 300 voice memos in my phone, dude. And I've just been sending them to my producer, like, you think this one's ready? Should we work on this? Should
Yeah,
we work on this one? So it changes for me. It depends on what I'm going through and what I'm feeling. There it is. Sorry, I was looking for my headphone this whole time. It depends on what you're feeling and what time, but time also. Like some people can write a whole song in 5, 10 minutes because they're rushed to do it. So for this specific EP, yeah, it was very much I found YouTube beats. I had an idea. For example, the No Regret song. Honestly, I heard that beat and it already had a hook. So I was like, okay, cool. We're going to do that. We're going to work with that and we're going to see what happens. And that's where I came up with that whole hard work, don't break a sweat, lick on me. Because the song goes on, stick with me or something like that. Um, so yeah, I guess it really just depends on the moment. Every artist is different, and it also depends on what they're going through at the time. Like if you told me to sit here and give you 10 songs, I'd probably just pull out 10 of my voice memos and figure out what's a good one.
beat me to my questions about no regrets. So, hey, um, how often are you spending time like okay, because you rap a little bit too, right?
Just a little bit, yeah. I'm working on
A little
freestyling,
bit.
and then I'll learn on like, okay, this is let's write words to this. Like I feel like my freestyling, learning to rap is gonna be punching for me
Okay.
until it's like muscle memory, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could write this word. This is gonna be a rap because to me, rap is like poetry, and I
Yeah.
got to get back into poetry.
What's the balance between rapping and singing for you? Like, does one have prior? I know you say you rap a little bit, but does is rap taking a back seat because you don't feel like you're the best at it, or do you feel like it's just not is singing more of your passion? Like, which where's that come from?
Singing is the passion. Rap is a newfound passion.
Okay.
But also, like when I was a kid, like for example, when that Drunken Love song came out, I promise you I was rapping. I was rapping everything he said. Once I learned the lyrics and I understand what you're saying in the lyrics, it's a lot better for me to like repeat it. But that's just like how singing is for me. But yes, you're right. Singing is my passion. And then second comes rapping or any other creative arts. But singing has always been the first. Like acting, dancing. I want to learn choreography. There's so much I want to not limit myself.
Here's a question I ask everyone in every single interview, no matter who it is or what you do. To you, what is the difference between motivation and drive?
Mm. Motivation is saying, I feel like I could do this today. I know I want to do this. Drive is actually putting the effort from the motivation. You have motivation to go to the gym. That doesn't mean you're about to go to the gym. Drive means you're going, okay, I'm about to set up a schedule. I'm about to make sure, hey, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, those are my gym days. I cannot pass that. Or if I skip a day, make up for it. So that's what I think drive is. Drive is actually doing what you're motivated to do.
So you feel like motivation is more of a feeling, drive is more of an action.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your next up and coming milestone? Like for you, like what is to you your next milestone you want to achieve?
Music videos, choreography, and doing at least 5 more shows before I move out of Wisconsin. And even if that's a small show, it's a start. Considering I've done one small show already and got a $45 check for a 5 minute performance, I'm content with that. I know that's not a lot to a lot of people, but it's a lot for me as a starting artist. And coming back to my hometown, not starting music here.
I know Rawlings said he would do shows for $30, right? And he had a conversation about being comfortable. He said you have to be comfortable being broke when you're, going after your goal. He said he did a show with $30. He said he was completely fine with that. It was either 30 or 35, I'm sorry. 30 or $35, whatever it was. And he said, he knew he'd give himself a bag of potatoes for the week. He could have lunch and he'd be good, make it to the next week. But he knew if he kept knocking on those doors, he'd be where he eventually, got to today. So yeah, $45 is all right, man. Better than free.
And speak going off of that, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people go into this starving artist like, I got a 9 to 5. I'm not about to quit my 9 to 5 for a dream. I need my dream to become my 9 to 5. If you're not gonna make sure that I'm settled and good, the Summer Walker did the same thing. I'm not quitting my job until you can confirm that this will pay my bills. Not trying to make it about money, but a lot of people think that you're just gonna get scooped up and all your dreams are gonna come through. No, I've seen it so many times where they talk about these deals you get. That's a loan. I'm not taking $1 million loan. I barely like taking $3,000 loans. You want me to take 1 million and hope I can flip it back? No.
I hear you. That might be a conversation for another interview.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh man, what was it? This is one more thing for you. You might be the first artist I've interviewed in I mean, a very long time. I think the last time I've heard about choreography was when I interviewed Carmen De Leon back in like 2020, 2021. So
Okay.
I don't hear a lot of artists really talk about choreography. So why are you so focused on choreography, dance, as part of your performance?
Breath control. End of the day, if I could prove I can do this dancing, you can't say nothing to me when I'm standing still on that stage. Because guess what?
Mhm.
If I can do it dancing,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, especially when you start off, like some of the stuff I'm doing to help with my breath control is singing and running on a treadmill. Right now, I'm currently walking. Am I kind of out of breath? Yeah, but you can't tell because I'm doing breath control. So I feel like it's to help me vocally too. It's not just, oh, I'm trying to look cool because I could get away with doing a little. It's not unusual to be anyway, and probably still get a vibe from
Lil
just doing that
Carlton,
kind of dance. Yeah, hitting the Carlton and doing my song. Yeah.
what is next for your career that you want people to know?
I mean, of course, every artist loves to say new music coming, new music coming.
Yeah, don't
So
don't 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 be that basic with us, please.
yeah, I was like, that's some basic stuff. What's coming with my career is this move to Houston again. I think that's going to be a huge impact on my career. Um, because I already was starting out there, I had connections, and it's just now that I've refined my knowledge. Yeah, moving, um, music videos, next career because I kind of want to give them something to look at. You got my songs already, but now let's give you something to look at. Um, and I think maybe doing more like photo shoots, getting my face out there, uh, and maybe doing lives, like getting the courage to finally get on like Instagram, TikTok, and go live and show my personality, personality. There we go. And like show me gaming and stuff. Like just be a real person with these people. I'm not Beyonce level yet. So not like you couldn't figure out what I got going on in my life.
I'm not gonna say the person's name, but there's an artist that I've written about, talked to for years, and I did the math on his numbers. He makes about $80,000 a year, right? And I was talking about this earlier this week. He makes about 80K a year just doing music alone. And I said, man, everybody thinks of Travis, of Beyonce, whatever, and they are like the extreme hundreds of millions or whatever. Um, but yo, you know how many people would take an $8,000 job right now? Yeah, I think what were we asking? I think we were asking what
So we were
we
talking about choreography, and you were saying an artist, and then we were talking about an artist that makes like 80K a year, and I was telling you how um I am even content with like 60K. Like if it's a full-time job and it's paying, I'm not looking for millions.
right, right. Honestly, like any final words you want for your audience, that you want your audience to know. I think I asked you that question, but if you want to add anything else, that's cool.
I think I want artists to know it's okay to branch out. You may get burned a couple of times, but don't be looking at things like, oh, that sounds sketchy. Ask around, ask a couple questions, do your research, make sure you're working with the right people that genuinely want to see you succeed. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's always going to be about money to certain people, but find stuff that works with your budget. Like if you don't have $5,000 for a music video, do that yourself. Find people that maybe 600, maybe 250 to do a music video. Just get the content out there, get your music out there. Make your fans something, like make them something. It doesn't need to be, oh, I dress like this and it has to be that. Make your fans something. Make it you. For me, it's been about calling them bosses. Like it came out of nowhere one day and I was just like, you know, I really think I want my fans to realize they are bosses. And by that, I mean, you are the boss of your life. You might not be a CEO or of a 500 company, but you are the boss of your life. The way you react to people, what you do, your dreams, your goals, those are boss decisions. You are making decisions on your life. And why not do what makes you happy? And we're not always going to be in perfect situation. Dude, I've house hopped before and it wasn't ideal. So your story is how you make your fans relate to you. Like, don't try to be some snobby person only about followers and this and that. Make Be yourself. And if you can't be yourself, I don't want to say be someone else, but I also want to be like, if this is truly your passion, find people that you're passionate about and start taking things from them and turning it into your own until you figure out who you are as an artist. And or this isn't even for artists, this is for people who want to be businesses, because as an artist you are a business. So yeah, it's okay to be the same lash tech. It's okay that you got 10 other lash techs on the same block, but what do you do that's different? What do you do as an artist that's different, that sells, and how do you get your fans to realize you're worth their time?
Phenomenal answer. Phenomenal answer. So we look forward to writing this piece. I'm gonna take us off record now, okay?